Well, I've got George Humphrey, my good friend, in studio with us. He is an economist, a very successful businessman, author, lecturer, filmmaker, and former Austin City Councilman. And back when I was first waking up in like 94, 95, I was involved in politics a little bit in Austin. I would run into George Humphrey, and he was talking about the New World Order and all this stuff, and I'd read some books about it. So he was instrumental in a lot of my formation of my ideas as well. And here we are 14 years, well, that'd be 16 years later, but, here we are 14 years after I got on air. And he's got his own local TV show he does from time to time. Very busy man, George Humphrey. And today we're going to leave and go do more interviews with him for the second Obama film. I haven't decided on the name yet. I'm very close. And because Obama Deception has been so successful and so up to date, it's actually worse than we thought. They've introduced another bill for compulsory service. So I want to go down the list with you, George, just on issue after issue. And in the next hour, we're going to open the phones up for all of your calls. But George, you were ranting during the break, raving, and I appreciate the rave reviews. You're in the Obama Deception, but you're in a few of my other films, and you said they were good, but I didn't get this excited. So you're not just saying it's good because you're in it. Break down the film like you were breaking down for me during the break.
Well, Alex, I don't rant that much, but I'll tell you what, we had a bunch of people over at my house last night, and to a person, everybody was totally impressed. And I have been in some of your other films, and your other films have been excellent and positive and good information. And in my opinion, the presentation, the professionalism on this, the people who were the guests, Salente, KRS, unbelievable. And if you have not downloaded this, or more importantly, buy some copies from Alex, because as you buy the copies from Alex, then he can do more stuff. And this is a big deal, friends. And it's hard to be objective about a film that I'm in, and I'm in it for maybe 6 or 7 minutes. And it was my total, complete honor to be of service to this film. And what we are facing right now is so much bigger and coming at us so much faster than 98% of the patriots in this country have any idea about. And I am just so pleased that I have been of help, and that you have been a good friend of mine for so long. And I'll tell you what, the game's on, friends. The game is on. It's not about 10 years from now. It's not about 2012. It's about right now. And the choice is whether you're going to go down the path of the New World Order, whether you're going to go down the path of fear, whether you're going to go down the path of materialism, or whether you're going to make the choice and realize that you and every single one of you, black, white, Hispanic, Oriental, is that we're all part of God's creation, and that we can all make things better. And if we see this thing with clear eyes and a full heart, then we can have some love in our hearts and realize that we don't have to go to this materialistic gulag that is being prepared for us. And I'll tell you what, our opponents right now, people like Obama, and remember, Obama is only a puppet. He is a puppet. It's not about Obama. It's about something much bigger, just like it wasn't about George Bush, because it's about something much, much bigger. And it is so good to be in body right now. It is so wonderful to have this freedom to be able to speak about this issue, and there is no greater time to be alive and speak about freedom, to speak about love, to speak about God, to speak about the Republic. I love this country, and I'll tell you what, I know that if you're listening to this, you do too. So listen to what Alex has to say, and we're going to give you a whole bunch of information today.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions for you. We're also taping for the film, the new Obama film, while you're in studio with us right now. There's a whole host of things going on. I've been looking around for it. I covered it yesterday, and then I saw it back in my stack. Well, you guys in there, Google, Bloomberg, $12.8 trillion. And it is a Bloomberg article about how the real number now is $12.8 trillion, approaching the gross domestic product of the nation. Since you're an economist and a successful one at that, I want to get your breakdown of what's happening. But first, they have announced that it's going to be $1.5 trillion to the bankers, but that's really the sideshow. as Dick Morris said on Fox News on Monday night, shockingly, he said, the New World Order is real. The conspiracy theorists were right. They're setting up a global government where banks will rule the United States and the rest of the planet. And that they're talking about the money on one level, but they just issue that. The real issue is the regulatory power, this, quote, bank of the world that will rule everything. Can you, in your own words, speak to all of that and why suddenly we're seeing mainstream news have to admit we were right about all this?
Well, clearly, money has always been the strings of the puppeteers on the slaves. And the people, whether we call them the Illuminati, the black hats, the oligarchy, the plutocracy, the rascals, whatever we want to call these people who are living in separation consciousness, they have used fiat currency as a manipulation. It's not money that they're after. It's what they're after is power. Cold, ruthless, total power. And they've been planning this for a long, long time, incrementally, since the days of Weishaupt. And now they're in their final chapter. And the amount of money that you are talking about, and that is truly out there, most Americans think that this bailout, if they pay any attention, is $3, maybe $4 trillion. They don't have any idea what that, most people don't know what that really means. And $3 or $4 trillion is an amount that staggers the mind. But however, the reality is that the Federal Reserve, with no accounting, with no supervision, is putting out another $8.5 to $10 trillion so far. They are not informing Congress or the people of this country where that money is going. And so the real number that is part of this, quote, bailout, and let's just get straight. This is not a bailout. This is financial terrorism. This is not a bailout. This is financial terrorism. And because Adam Weishaupt, when they started the Illuminati, their motto was, out of chaos is order. Out of chaos is an order. And when they went into create the French Revolution, they created this chaos. The murders, blood was running in the street. They destroyed the economy so that they could get power. And they're doing the exact same thing here in the United States. This wonderful, wonderful nation is being destroyed. It is destroyed. I shouldn't say is being. It is destroyed economically by the Federal Reserve, by the Treasury, and by these absolute rascals that are creating the greatest and the most significant transfer of wealth in the history, not just of our country, but in all of Occidental history. The middle class, the productive peoples of this country, black, white, Hispanic, Oriental, Christian, Jewish, the whole group, we're all being robbed as we speak. You cannot create wealth by creating more debt. You cannot create wealth by robbing and hindering the people who create the wealth. The state cannot, by definition, cannot create wealth. And the amazing thing is that 98% of this bailout money is going to financial institutions. Where is it in the Constitution of the United States that the taxpayers of the United States should bail out corrupt, failing, and wrong financial institutions? The very institutions that created and profited by this, starting in 1998 with this ending of the Glass-Steagall Act, and they took not millions, not billions, but trillions and trillions of dollars from the people, from the economy, between 98 and now. And these very same people who planned this, who participated in this, are now getting the bailouts from the people of this country. That means you and me, your family, and your friends. And that can only mean one thing: extremely high taxes coming at us, more government interference, and eventually mass inflation. Now, we're going to be in a significant debt deflationary period for a longer period of time than most people think. This bailout doesn't even come close. Let me repeat, this bailout doesn't even come close to sopping up these toxic derivatives. You know, and nobody really knows the exact number of the toxic derivatives out there. Whether it's 300 trillion, whether it's 500 trillion, or whether it's $800 or $900 trillion. It really doesn't make any difference because the problem cannot be fixed. This bailout money doesn't even pay the interest on these toxic derivatives. Friends, the game's all over. Using the rules of the Federal Reserve, fractional reserve banking, fiat currency, the game was fixed many years ago.